It's Thanksgiving. Let's see, that means it's November 22nd, 2012. And I'm having kind of a relaxed day. Took Odin up to the Diamond Mills Pond and took some video of ducks for a while. Beautiful day. Chilly, late fall, but beautiful. Sun's out. And I was just thinking, we've had a few days now of the President Obama to get geared up for his next term, and I'm sorry to say I'm not impressed. To my way of thinking, we had great debt after World War II, and the way we got out of it was by investing in the future through education, and then through a vast investment in infrastructure under Eisenhower. Education, which there was a GI Bill under Truman, and then the highway system under Eisenhower. And then, of course, following that, we had the moon mission, which brought just incredible benefits and innovation and new technology. So there was a period there of 3 presidents that really took us out of the doldrums of the aftermath of World War II. And of course, World War II got us out of the Depression. And both examples of investing in the future. The war was actually an investment in our freedom, in the future of our freedom and opportunity, and the education and infrastructure investments were much like any business does, is invest in new plant and equipment and training of employees and things like that so that they can grow. And we grew the economy. And anyway, it's a factor. A couple of things that and sometimes I repeat myself and things like that. Well, just to wrap up on President Obama, if John Huntsman would have been running, we'd have a Republican president. And that's an example. In fact, in the last few weeks of the campaign, I had thoughts about Jeb Bush. Whatever happened to Jeb Bush? And of course, living in New Jersey, I've become a fan of Governor Christie. But that's not hard to understand after the Democratic governors Van Creevy and Corzine. During a period of time when I was embarrassed to say I was a Democrat. So, with Christie, I'm not embarrassed to say I'm a Democrat, because I think he's not perfect. But boy, you got to admire the guy. He talks the talk and walks the walk. It's, not kind of rare for a politician. So, of course, he's in trouble with his own party because of his expression of appreciation to President Obama for helping in the Sandy relief. But, by the way, I lost the wing on my glasses, and I'm going to get new ones on Friday or Saturday. So, but just a couple of issues that I think are, again, to come back to as I'm thinking in Thanksgiving is, when these folks on the right, the hard right, talk about the trickle-down economics, after our experience with the aftermath of World War II and the investment that were made by the government in our future as a nation, and the recovery that spurred, to have people say that, with a straight face, talk about the benefits of trickle-down economics, we should be in the aisles rolling in laughter. It's got to be a joke. I mean, let's face it, trickle-down economics is plantation economics. It's gated community economics. It's banana republic economics. For anyone to even, say it in a straight face here in the United States of America is kind of like, and then for us to kind of say, oh yeah, well that's you got to discuss it pro and con and stuff like, give me a break. That's passing down the hand-me-downs to the indentured servants and the slaves on the plantation. That's what trickle-down economics is. And for us to sit here and take it with a straight face for all these many years, it's like, oh my word. I'd say something stronger, but hopefully this will get a wider distribution than friends and family, and some of my friends and family have little kids. Anyway, what's the next thing? It ties into, it's wrapped up in this thing called a free market. Well, there isn't anything close to being a free market on the scale of what we're talking about. There might be a free market someplace, who knows? In the maybe in the little town where I grew up, Culver, Minnesota, on 30 miles north of Duluth. Some might have had some aspects of a free market. However, what is there? See, if there was a free market, then tobacco companies would be paying the cost of cancer. The fact that we have to pay for the harmful effects of the product that they produce is what economics folks have a big word for that. They call it externalities, and there's plenty of them. Practically everything that the major corporations produce. There's there's air pollution, there's water pollution. What was it that they dumped in, GE dumped into the Hudson River for so many years anyway? And then the loss of the fishing streams from mountaintop strip mining. Then let's take oil. Okay, look at all the expense of preserving access to oil. It doesn't come out of it doesn't get added into the cost of oil. We pay for it. So in other words, we're paying, the taxes that pay for the military and everything to protect our access to free oil. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't do that. We shouldn't protect our access to oil as a strategic commitment. But that's a cost of having petroleum to run our cars, and it's not included in the price. So that particular market isn't free at all. In fact, it's grossly out of balance in terms of what we pay for what it costs versus what it costs to get the gasoline into the car that we drive. So, and there's other examples, of course, but we should, in fact, what America should be striving for is a fair market. In other words, that there's so many little things. Like the thing is if somebody dumped garbage, if the neighbor dumped garbage in our yard, we'd expect them to come and clean it up, right? How do they get away with dumping all this pollution and things into our air and water and kind of not cleaning it up unless they're absolutely forced to? And then they use every means possible not to have to accept the responsibility of what they've done. So, yeah. Anyway, there was something else, and my mind wanders at my age, and I repeat myself, and it's let's take the election for instance, Romney. If you listen to Fox News and Rush Limbaugh and those folks, you would have thought that Romney was going to, walk away with the election. They were in an echo chamber. And, if they had told the truth, if they had been, a little bit more rational in their reasoning instead of just playing to the choir, to their particular audience, and believe me, folks like Rush Limbaugh can make a very nice living without having to have the majority of voters following them. So if they can cater, if they can preach or voice an opinion that attracts enough listeners and viewers to get advertising, then that's their goal. And the trouble is that, from what I see, is they convinced everybody that by sticking with Romney and Ryan, they had a real shot at winning the presidency. Well, every senior citizen could, and I think every woman could figure out that when Romney chose Ryan, he blew the election big time. And we all know he chose, well, we don't know. I mean, my humble opinion is what I should say. He chose Ryan in order to protect his flank in the convention, because there was a revolt brewing. So by choosing Ryan, he secured the nomination, and he just figured he was going to win. He didn't. But with Ryan, there's one thing worse than Obamacare for seniors, and believe me, seniors do not, from my viewpoint, and the people I talk to, seniors do not like Obamacare. But there's one thing worse, and that's vouchers in terms of Medicare. So, and then with all this anti-woman's choice going on from the Ryan camp, I mean, really hardcore, he of course lost the women's vote under a certain age, and that was it. Then everything else was gratuitous. It was just, but major, of course, because you had the Latin vote with that self-imposed what's the word for when the immigrants leave the country? Anyway, Romney's big plan, and so anyway, it's and I think it all had to do with this fact that, or much of it had to do with the fact that the right-wing news talk show group were preaching to the choir, creating an echo chamber that led them to totally misjudge the likely outcome, and which was becoming more and more likely, I thought, every day, especially after the choice of Ryan for the vice president running mate. Anyway, let's see. I'll probably have some more things to add because I knew I should have took notes before I got started, but then that's okay. I just thought that there needs to be a a crying out in the wilderness of because we have some really tough issues and facing us as a nation, and I think we need to grow our way out of the debt, and we can't cut because it's so basic. Wealth is produced by labor, mental and physical effort. Okay? Without mental and physical effort, there is no creation of wealth. Okay? Period. And the accumulation of wealth that and in America, labor has been so efficient and so productive that it's produced all this wealth that is now represented by these financial instruments, so they can juggle around and make money by playing with pieces of paper. But if there wasn't the underlying wealth, the pieces of paper would be meaningless. They'd be like, literally like leaves off the tree. They just, it's or blades of grass. It would have absolutely no relevance unless these financial instruments are tied to things that have real value, represent things that have real value. Then they're meaningless. They're worthless. And what is important is to continue to produce the wealth that the real wealth that is sought after in the marketplace. In other words, that people need or want, or so that, and that's what, if they don't need it and they don't want it, then also it isn't wealth, because it's just junk. It's, and the big mystery is this gold. People want gold, so it has value. But if it was as common as dirt, well, anyway, that's getting off into something else. So we have to, we have to grow our way out of this debt crisis, and we can't create the wealth that is necessary to pay for the debt by putting people on unemployment or welfare or nothing. If the more workers who are capable of producing something of value that we have sitting around, the further we fall behind, because they become a drain on the economy, and because they aren't producing anything that offsets the resources that they consume. It's kind of like so basic. So if you don't find them work, if you don't find people work, productive work, then by and large the working population is producing goods and services of value in the market, then at a fair market, and then you're falling behind. And to commit ourselves to a program of austerity, which basically commits us to removing workers from the market, from producing goods and services to put out into the market, we're it's so bizarre. It's almost like, come on, guys, didn't you ever go to kindergarten and learn, you know, how human interaction works, you know? And oh well, go on forever, I guess. Anyway, I think that's it for now. And get back to you. Happy Thanksgiving. Everybody's getting ready for Christmas, I guess. Shopping and stuff, and I might even go out shopping, but I don't think so. I think I'm going to work in the yard. I'm going to test this and get on with my day. And, get back to you sometime in the future. Okay, great.